The Dogs, in association with the Greyhound Board of Great Britain. Well, hello and welcome to a special Blue Square Greyhound Derby final edition of The Dogs. We're at the Greyhound Hotel in Carshalton, Surrey for the traditional Blue Square Greyhound Derby lunch. We'll be talking to connections of the finalists a little bit later. But this public house is steeped in greyhound history, stretching back 300 years. Now, in terms of years, it's the 25th anniversary of the Derby at Wimbledon. And what a Blue Square Derby it's been.
And Ballymacunder had to fight for this, but now he's clearing right away. And Ballymacunder goes on to score comfortably. And now Shelbourne Aston is charging through Greyhounds. Shelbourne Aston has taken off and is powering away. Shelbourne Aston easy in the end. Verherna Best has gone 3 lengths clear. Make it 4 or 5 now. Central All-Star. Then Farlow Rees and Glencross Bell. Verherna Best, he's back with a bang. Verherna Best scores, he scores well. Down the home straight they come. Greenwell River though still in front here. He's not going to stop by the looks of it for Pat Flaherty. And goes on to score easily in the end. Windy Miller still travelling really well here. 3 or 4 lengths ahead as they come down the straight. Windy Miller is away and gone and will score again. Still Dean Ridge Fury just in front now, challenged by Germain. Then comes Ken Razzle running on a huge race. They're down inside the distance. Germain and on this side, Dean Ridge Fury, Germain and Dean Ridge Fury. Into the straight, Ninja Jamie. Fights the length and a half now from Doofus Knoll. Ninja Jamie is holding Doofus Knoll. Go towards home, Bandicoot to Pokey. The pup has got a cushion of about 3 lengths from Bubbly Maestro, followed by Glenard Sunrise. They're getting quite tight up towards the line. It's 3 on the night for Charlie. It's Bandicoot to Pokey who wins.
Just some of the stars who fell by the wayside in the earlier rounds of the Derby. Well, there was a big crowd at Wimbledon to watch the final 12 do battle in the semi-finals. In the first, Matt Dartnell's Ballymac Russo was made favourite following his blistering sectional and time in the quarter-finals. Wise Thought and Fears of Phonic were next in the betting at 9-4. And away they go. Fears of Phonic has walked out of the boxes. Ballymac Russo's best away. Jogadas Gates moves up into second place as they go round the turn. After these comes 4. That's Shelbourne Denny as they head down the far side. And Ballymac Russo leading the way down the far side from Wise Thought in second. After these comes Jogadas Gates and on its outside Shelbourne Denny. Fears of Phonic in behind. But as they come round the final bend, it's Ballymac Russo for Terry Dartnell with a 2-length lead over Wise Thought. Those are certainly through to the final, and 2 Fears of Phonic. How did he get up into third? Another excellent run from Ballymac Russo, recording 28.47, the fastest in the competition, complemented by a wonderful 4.82 sectional. Well, whilst Terry Dartnell was on the podium, his son and trainer Matt was busy preparing Glenard Sunrise for the second semi-final. Firm favourite though at 5-4 was the Charlie Lister-trained Farlow Reason. There they go and racing away, and a good start from 4. Love Mac leads up early. Glenard Sunrise though picks it up and goes on. Track 3, Kinda Ready's pushed itself into second place. Heading down the far side, it's Glenard Sunrise leading from Kinda Ready. After these comes Farlow Reason. They're breaking away from Canberra Bros. Then comes 6, Bubbly Maestro. They come round the final bend, and it's still Glenard Sunrise with the advantage here. 3, Kinda Ready, and 2, Farlow Reason. Then comes Canberra Boss. It's going to be Trap 1 that wins. Glenard Sunrise. Glenard Sunrise completing a double on the evening for Matt Dartnell, recording 28.77 with Kinda Ready and Farlow Reason also qualifying. So on to the draw for the final. We already knew that come what may, the only wide seed through to the decider, Wise Thought, was guaranteed Trap 6. But with 5 railers in the field, who was going to get Trap 1 against the inside fence? Well, I've never heard such passion over a Derby draw. Fears of Phonic supporters were jubilant after he received the red jacket for the final. Sponsors Blue Square make Martin White's Wise Thought the 9-4 favourite. Matt Dartnell is doubly represented with Ballymac Russo and Glenard Sunrise. Charlie Lister's duo drawn either side of the bang-in form Ballymac Russo, whilst Kinda Ready will go to traps as the outsider.
Well, far away from the buzz of the semis, the serenity of the Greyhound Hotel in leafy Surrey. As is tradition, connections of the 6 finalists were invited to attend the Derby lunch, and trainers and assistants mingled with members of the press and the odd TV personality. The drink flowed and the sponsored PR man Alan Auger was delighted with the occasion, his first derby in the job.
Well, it's been fantastic. Punting wise, maybe not, but no, it's just been great. And as I said to everyone, it's been made easy by the fact that in the first round you see every single dog. By the second round you're really looking forward to seeing them again, and by the final you feel like an expert. I know I'm not, but I'm getting there.
And in terms of Blue Square itself, how's the competition gone this year?
Well, trading wise, I mean, we have taken a lot of money and we've exceeded expectation on that front. It's not been so good on the actual finalists themselves, and we're cheering on traps 3 and 4. The rest, the bad each way places, obviously we were playing first 6 at the start of the whole competition and through the first 2 rounds. So we've got a few bad places in there. 3 to follow, 4 home won't be such a bad day.
Now, assuming the bosses aren't listening, who's your personal tip for glory?
Well, I'm actually hoping on one front that Fears of Phonic actually breaks the Trap 1 jinx, because I feel that's the story that everybody needs, and we'll be out there in the papers the next week shouting that one to the rooftops. And I would say with the draw, I think he's the dog that can go and prove that, put that jinx to bed. And also Weisthal, you know, I've got to know the connections, and they're really nice people, and that would be good for them as well.
As Connections relaxed and enjoyed lunch, talk centred on the challenge ahead and what it would be like to lift the greatest trophy in greyhound racing. It's one thing being involved in a Derby final, it's quite another to actually go on and win it.
It means the world to me, I mean, and especially for our family and especially my dad. I mean, we've been in greyhound racing for God knows how many years. My dad's uncle started training, then my dad's trained for another 40 years. He's passed it on to me. So, 3rd generation, I just want the Dartnell name on that Derby trophy.
I mean, they're on about a couple of coaches coming down from Leicester, or up from Leicester. And basically, as you all know, we like a punt. We're all on at various prices. I mean, me and Kieran have betted at 50s a year ago. And we've all got it for a nice bet, but obviously we want to win the Derby anyway. But yeah, I think there'll be an almighty roar if that hits the bend first.
Derby's what at the end of the day people are going to look back on your training career as winning more than anything, you know, and you know, so you can tell how much that would really mean to myself personally and to the rest of our staff and all our owners. You know, it means an awful lot to win a Derby. If it doesn't happen this year, we're going to keep trying and we're going to come back, and I'm sure we're going to have plenty more runners in the next few years.
To me, it's just like another race, really. Not getting too excited, just keep it cool, really.
And you handle the pressure?
Yeah, no pressure at all.
Well, Carly might stay cool, but the pressure is on the pundits to try and unravel what looks a tricky Blue Square Derby final.
First of all, let's just say it's a brilliant final, but Ballymac Russo is the dog for me. I've backed him anti-post, which obviously influences me slightly, but how can you not be influenced by the runs in the quarter-final and the semi as well? He's trapped twice. If he leads once more, I think the Derby's his. Great draw for 1, Fears of Phonic, great draw for 6, Weisthal. There's not a bad dog in the race, as you'd expect, but I think early pace can win the race at Wimbledon. It so often does, so Ballymac Russo's my man.
And who's been the most impressive?
Ballymac Russo, I think he's, last couple of runs, he's doing it all the right way. If he does it once more, then who's to say he won't win the Derby?
I'm going to stick with Ballymac Russo. Very impressed with him in the quarters and the semis, bringing top form into the final. Think he can lead all the way.
Paul Brown, Greyhound, editor of the Racing Post. Who do you fancy in the Derby, and tell me why?
Fears of Phonic, and we only have to say Trap 1. That's it.
Ballymac Russo, based on current form, I think he could break away from 2. Every respect for Charlie, obviously, the Charlie factor. Can he break the hoodoo with 1 and Fears of Phonic? I've got a Blue Square Derby charity bet on Charlie, so I'd love to win it for that. But I think Ballymac Russo, experience from the Irish Derby final, could be a factor. He was led by Slip the Lark last year in that. But if he leads, I think Ballymac Russo will take all the catching.
Bob Betts of The Sun, your prediction for the final on Saturday?
Very, very tricky race. Brilliant field. Probably far low reason each way at the price.
The Derby will be won by Fears of Phonic because he is the fastest dog in the race. Charlie's always believed he wanted Trap 1. I think there's no one better in the game at training a Derby dog, and I think on the night he'll prove to be the best dog, and he'll win the race.
Yeah, I think we're going to go with Ballymac Russo, Jonathan. I think we was on at 6-1. We advised the Mirror readers at 6-1 when it won the quarter-finals. It's won the semi-finals in good style. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Ballymac Russo. Looks like it's going to lead at the corner. May call for me, Ballymac Russo.
I think it's a very open race, but I think that Ballymac Russo has just come to form at the right time. I think Matt's got him perfect for the race. The dog's coming out the traps perfectly. and I'm sure that if he can get a lead, they will have a terrible time trying to get hold of him.
Got a sneaky suspicion for Wise fault, John. I thought he ran really well the other night. Even though he didn't win, I actually felt he ran better than the time before when he did win. Out of the 6 finalists, I think he's got the best of the draws. Obviously a hard final, but I think he's the one to beat.
Well, most seem to side then with Matt Dartnell's Ballymac Russo. And I do as well. The quarter-final run was sensational. The semi-final run even better. He can do it in the final with a fast break. Well, after our break, we'll get our ducks in a row and work out how the race will unfold. Welcome back to part 2 of the Dogs and the quest to succeed Loyal Honcho, last year's Derby winner. The sponsors make Wise Thought favourite from Ballymac Russo and Fierceophonic. Here's an in-depth look at the Blue Square Derby finalists with myself and first Errol Blythe.
In Trap 1, Charlie Lister's Fierceophonic, unbeaten when winning the Graphite Puppy Derby at Walthamstow, the winner of the Birmingham Cup at Perry Bar and the Racing Post Juvenile Championship at Wimbledon. He was made the anti-post favourite for the competition and began his campaign with an awesome run in the first round, recording 28.66 from Trap 2. In the third round, from an unfavourable Trap 3 draw, he showed brute early pace.
The passage has been really hard. Obviously the dogs had Trap 3 on 3 occasions now, which he didn't obviously want, and I think he's done wonders to get through. And when John McCrick called out Trap 1 on, you obviously heard the roar. You know, we all went mad. It was just what we were praying for, and we got it. He was very tired dog going into Tuesday night last week, and obviously he crept through in third, and then going into Saturday, I don't know how he qualified, to be honest. He was so far behind halfway.
He's been having bad draws all the way through. He's got Trap 1 Saturday night, and I think that's the trap he wants. So, you know, with no excuses, either win or loss. So, you know, he's a better dog to me in 1 than he's in any other box. He's a dead railer, so, you know, he's got the 1 lane road. So,
do you think he has to lead at the first corner to win?
Well, I think, to be quite truthful, I think any dog in the race has to lead at the first corner. I think, you know, there's a lot of good dish dogs in there, and I think the one maybe what went round the bend would be maybe the winner, you know.
And sorry to bring the statistic up again, Charlie, you're probably sick to death of hearing it, but obviously no dog has won from Trap 1 at Wimbledon in 24 attempts. Why do you think it'll be different with Fierceophonic?
I personally think he's a 1 dog. You know, he wants Trap 1, and he's a far better dog on the rail than he is anywhere else. And the thing is that, you know, there's always a first time for everything, isn't there?
Trap 2, Ballymac Russo. Trained by Matt Darnell for Patsy Byrne, his record of 11 wins from 25 starts includes a place in last year's Irish Derby final. At Wimbledon, his form has also been sparkling, no more so than his brilliant quarter-final effort when pinging the lids from 5.
The dog's running out of his skin at the moment. We've got him feeling well. We've brought him on at the right time. You know, if he does a sectional, the 4 to 7 sectional, I mean, I think he'll take a lot of beating.
I mean, to do what he did in the quarterfinals was one thing, but then the culmination, 3 runs in a week, to do that in the semi-finals, to trap as well, was something else.
And he actually done his fastest time after the 3rd run. You know, when they have 3 runs in a week, you expect the last run to be the slowest run, but for him, because he loves the racing, I think we've got him bang on now, and we just need to keep him right for Saturday.
Ballymac Russo had Trap 2, the box he occupies in the final, in the first round and made no mistake as he came out running. He showed steady improvement throughout the Derby, and although missing the kick slightly in the 3rd round behind Farlow Reason, showed good trackcraft and bend running ability to get back into contention. His form is rock solid, and his early pace is matched by his ability to see out the 480 metres well.
I think he's got a hell of a chance. You know, he's done the fastest time so far of the competition. If he does that run, that should be good enough to win the competition, so he's got a cracking chance.
Charlie Charlie Lister's second runner is Finalist Reason. The oldest greyhound in the final, he's won over 50% of his races. And during this year's Derby, he's run some fabulous races. Here he is in Trap 1 in the third round, beating Matt Dartnell's Ballymac Russo.
Down towards the judge, Finalist Reason ahead. Finalist Reason goes on from Ballymac Russo, then Droopy's Quinter, and we say goodbye to Maherna Best.
I think Trap 3's about his best box, myself. I'm still never in Trap 3 than Trap 1 actually, because he's on his races he's had, he's always seemed to run pretty well out of that sort of draw, you know, 2 or 3.
Finalist Reason's won plenty of silverware in his career. As a pup, he won the William Hill Northern Puppy Derby at Sunderland, and last year he took more of the sponsors' cash at Hall Green when winning the Blue Ribbon. He's a gutsy dog who just doesn't know when he's beat, as he showed here behind Ballymac Russo.
I thought he won the blind the night he came from about 4 or 5 lengths behind to get beat 3/4 of a length, so I thought he won really well. I mean, he's a good, genuine little dog, and he's pretty consistent any road, you know.
Charlie Lister, the Derby maestro, hoping to add to his 4 previous Derby winners.
I'm pretty confident with my 2 dogs. I mean, I wouldn't swap them 2 for any other dogs in the race.
Trap 4, Glenard Sunrise, the second of Matt Dartnell's runners and also owned by Patsy Byrne. He's the joint youngest in the final along with Kinda Ready. A lightly raced sword, he nevertheless already has a cracking strike rate and showed in his semi-final a terrific burst of pace to spread eagle his field. His will to win has impressed his young handler.
He's got great pace, he's got a fair Irish card. He was pulled over, so we knew he'd be a half-decent dog. As soon as we got him going, it was actually obvious to us that he was a Derby contender.
Glenard Sunrise ran from Trap 4 in the second round when he beat, among others, Fierce Phonic, landing a 10-to-1 shock in the process. He kept a reasonably straight line into the turn and should not be written off, feels Dartnell.
I wouldn't underestimate him. You know, the 4 box is ideal draw for him. You know, he's young and he's improving. We've got another week with him. You know, who knows, if he comes out and does everything right, he could do a time, and I think he might shock a lot of people.
Glenard Sunrise is doing enough for the upset. Glenard Sunrise wins.
Matt Dartnell has proved in his short career, with a place now in 2 Derby finals, that his is a kennel that has real ambition.
I'm a young trainer coming through. My dad's been in the game a long time and he's just passed it all down on to me. And, you know, I think for what we've done and the amount of time, I mean, 2 years, you get to the final of the English Derby, you get to the final of the Irish Derby, and we won quite a few competitions and Cat 1's coming through. It'd be nice to have a contract at the end of the day, you know, because when the Derby finishes, I don't want to be going a 200-mile round trip to Coventry and back with the graded runners. So that's what we're looking to do, and expand the kennel, expand the owners, and just go from there, really.
Champion trainer Mark Wallace has yet to taste Derby success, and he's done really well to steer the young Kinda Ready to the final. Runner-up in the Ladbroke Midland Puppy Derby at Monmore, he was a winner in the second round of the competition when, leading at the third bend, he romped away from Droopy's Quinter. He's a strong, powerful type who is progressing and learning all the time.
I stated originally that he was the best chance I ever had of getting to a Derby final since I took over the training from Linda, and thankfully I've been proved right, you know. People have got to remember he's not an old dog that's just got there and we're happy to be there. He's a young, improving dog, you know, and he's coming forward. I mean, Loyal Oncho 2 years ago got to the final and then come back last year to win it, you know. So, you know, maybe it might not be our turn this year, but we're going to give it a good go. And if it isn't, I'm sure we can come back next year and have an even better chance of getting to a final plus.
Many thought Kinda Ready ran his best race in the semi-finals from Trap 3. Despite being bumped, he showed blind determination to qualify. What does Mark make of his draw for the final?
I've always thought if we're going to produce a bit of a surprise, then that's where I wanted to be. Trap 5, all the other railers on our inside, you know. Our dog will stay straight. I'm pretty confident he'll stay straight. People also forget that, you know, the dog's a 28 dead dog at Monmore, you know, where he showed blistering early pace around that track, and he showed early at Coventry. Obviously, we're going to need the fastest of fast starts, and, you know, yes, we're 20-1, but, you know, it'd be wrong of us to believe that we can't win it, because there's no point in turning up. We're going to enjoy the occasion, but we honestly, firmly believe we can still win it.
Trap 6, Wise Thought. Martin White's dog became a star overnight when he won the puppy race on Derby final night last year, one of 17 race wins on his card. He was blighted with bad draws early in the Derby, having to deal with Trap 3 in the first round and then Trap 4 in the second round, each time looking to move wide. But he finally got Trap 6 in the quarterfinals and wore down Jogadus Ace after turning second. And assistant trainer Carly Philpott feels a good show from the Traps could set up victory.
I think he would have to take, do his best break and sort of get to the bend more, like either in front or just behind a dog or two. But he can come from behind. I'm quite sure he can come from behind dogs in the final.
Now, his performance in the semi-final was good.
Yeah.
Can he get better?
I'd say, like I said in the paper last week, there is still more to come from him. He's a big dog. He's not had a lot of racing this year. Very professional. He's very, very, very genuine. You couldn't wish for a better dog, really. He's just got a great temperament.
Wise Thought is no stranger to big race glory, having won the Eclipse at Nottingham. And it was shortly after that when Martin White made a surprise call to Carly to ask her to come and work for him.
It was a bolt from the blue. He rang me up beginning of the year and asked me to go and help him, which I did in March. And it's just been great, a dream really, to get to the final.
So you're looking forward to Saturday, the hullabaloo, Wimbledon Derby final night. You're parading Wise Thought in front of a huge crowd, the catcalls, etc. You can handle those?
Yeah, I think we'll both handle it. I'll be singing along to Tina Turner.
Fantastic. Do you want a rehearsal?
Yeah, go on then. You start off.
So in summary, on the dash to the winning line first time, Ballymac Russo appears streets ahead with his unbelievable 477 sectional backed up by an awesome 482 split in the semi-finals. In the overall calculated time, it's still advantage Russo with his 28.51 and 28.57 clockings, but Farlow Reason has also posted 28.57. But will it be game, set and match for Russo at Wimbledon in the Blue Square Derby final? The head says Ballymac Russo because of his astonishing recent runs. The heart goes for Fearzaphonic, who has at last got his cherished red jacket. But the gut believes Wise Thought could have the draw of all draws on the night. Don't forget the din of the Derby final. He will see the hare first, and as the sole wide seed will have a clear path to the first bend and beyond.
So that's our look at the Super 6 gunning for Derby glory. Back at the Greyhound Hotel, it was hard work discussing the relative merits of those involved. And even the staff got in on the act, proud to host the Derby lunch.
It's so exciting, it is amazing. I've been looking forward to that day for a long time, and I have to say that it's been fantastic and everybody been so happy, and I have to say that I really enjoyed myself, my staff enjoyed myself, and I think you did as well.
So it's goodbye from the Derby lunch, time for just one more picture for the album from Snapper Steve Nash. Next stop is Wimbledon Stadium on Saturday. The weather is set fair, the final and supporting card just superb. And if you can join us at the track or via the live action here on Sky Sports, then great, the more the merrier.
Warm up for the Derby with excellent open race action on Friday at Crayford, Pelaw Grange and Romford. The big one, the Blue Square Derby final at Wimbledon on Saturday. There's also opens at Monmore, whilst on Sunday opens are at Coventry and a special charity meeting at Harlow. Monday evening there's opens at Nottingham and Romford.
The Dogs, in association with the Greyhound Board of Great Britain.